Okay, well, my name is Chanel Miller for the record, and my stage name is C
See
Slim,
Slim,
baby.
baby.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today you guys are in for a treat. She might sing us into a song. I have C Slim representing this South Florida, and you'll see why the Slim is on there. The C is her name, the government, but we're gonna keep it C Slim for those of you who kind of like to stalk people and go back, everything they've done from their social security. But I have C Slim, who is an artist, upcoming artist, and she's going to tell us what it has, what music has done for her, how the plan for 2021, how she's going to go to that next level. And she is a friend of Adrian from Transmedia, who has sent us so many of her friends, clients, etc., etc. So, C Slim, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm good, and yourself?
All is blessed by the best.
Yes, and shout out to Adrienne was on. I'd have to give her a shout out. I appreciate everything she's done thus far, and it's just a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Well, tell us, music is something usually people get at an early age. They just kind of know if they want to do it or if it's in them. So when did your journey begin with the music?
Wow, my journey began, I would say, in elementary school. This is when I would perform with plays and just sing my heart out. Now I have a singing family, so I come from a background of singing people. Okay, and I guess you could say it started in the church. That's where everybody, started out from. And I just love the feeling that I got from just singing and delivering and just music itself. It gave me a just different type of feel. I grew up listening to Brandy and Monica and Mary J. Blige, and I just love the soulfulness in their voice and their messages. Their messages is what really spoke to me. And even though as a young girl, I didn't you don't really understand what love really is and things of that nature, but it all began to make sense as I got older. But back in elementary school, I would be in plays, and even in high school, I went to Dillard High School, by the way, class of '09. Shout out to Dillard High School. I was in the performing arts program, and I would act and sing and put on plays. I was in Horton Here's a Who. Sorry, I had to go back. But yeah, it was just a journey. It was something I knew I always wanted to do. The thrill that I get from acting and just singing, and I just loved it, honestly. So I just knew
So,
it was something that I wanted to do.
so, I mean, you got it at a young age. And for those of you like me, when she said class of '09, my goodness, did she make some of us feel old? But but that's all
Wow.
right. That's all right. But with wanting to do it, there's a difference between wanting to do it and then actually getting in the studio. I've talked with artists. I got my start with music and interviewing musicians, and it can be expensive. So a lot of times folks either have to have an uncle or they have to have a hookup. Sometimes, folks got to run to the streets because the streets always got that heat and that money for that studio time. So
Right.
how did you go about, getting studio timing and being able to, get that part of production together?
Well, I ran into a guy named Teddy, and he basically showed me the way. He would book studio sessions, and I would go to DC Studios. I think he's in Miami. He's well known, but that was years ago when I kind of put out my first track. So I was basically blessed um, through the people who believed in me, and they would set up sessions, and I would go in and I would record, and I would just give it my all, and they pretty much paved the way. And I mean, that's where it started. And that was, oh my goodness, I want to say 2013, 2012, back back then. So yeah, the people. I just want to give a shout out to him as well. Even though we're not in communication anymore, but I mean, if we ever ran across each other, I would tell him thank you for the time that he gave. So yeah, some people are blessed, and some people do have to come out of pocket and spend hundreds and thousands of dollars just for that studio time. So
Definitely. And we hear, the stories now, and for whatever people think of Cardi B, she's been very transparent on how she made it, from the streets to the strip club to the executive studios. And, it really shows that people have really put their life on the line to do this
yeah,
music at a high level. We look at the Irv Gottis and the stuff they had to go through with the feds saying, what they said about them. But there is a
uh,
street element to this whole music business, no matter what genre. But you being a Black woman and a mother, how do you navigate yourself through the goons, the goblins, the dirty tunnels, the alleys, just so you can get on stage to rock the crowd?
wow. Well, I've had to learn some lessons. I recently got out of a group, but they'll remain nameless. But they used to help me out. But I just don't know really what happened. But I just pray about it because you just got to move on. But when it comes to my kids and being a mother and trying to do this, you're really going to need support. And I really did have support. Their father is in their lives, so thank God for him. My mother and my uncle. And to be honest, I would take my kids to the studio. I would, oh my goodness, it would be times when me and my mother would go at it because I understand that they're young. And just to give you guys a little taste, I have now a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old who will be 4 in January of 2021. But so back then, they were so much more younger, and just to be back and forth in the studio to have them with me. I mean, like you said, you always have your kids with you. I always have my kids with me. And if that was my passion, and so are my kids, they always went together.
Mm.
And that was on period. Like, so I would have my kids in there with me during studio sessions, during studio times, and they would see that this is what mommy really wants to do. And they even developed a love for it. So it all worked out. I do have support system, and that really does help. I
When you
thank
would
God for
bring
that.
when you would bring your kids to the studio, did you see the vibe kind of change because you have kids? I mean, everything is going on in the studio, in some people's studios. But did you see maybe folks would mellow out or, have to do like this, air out the room? I'm airing out the room, folks who can't see my hand, who are just listening. Would the vibe change, or was it something where your kids maybe had to grow up early and see some things that, your average child who doesn't get to go to the studio would see?
I think that they coped with it very well. They wouldn't really give me any problems. They are well behaved kids. I put that sternness on them and they get together. But I mean, my kids, they live a normal life. They go to parks and things like that. But when it comes to that studio, I would say that kind of took away from some of their childhood. But then again, I want to say take away from it because that's just another thing that they experience, and another thing that they learn from, that they got to experience and they learn to love. Um, the vibe, the vibe was always good in the studios with my kids. I would say that. Nothing really would change as far as it being negative or anything. So my kids had a love for it. They grew a love for it, like I said.
Okay. And every studio is different. I just know
So
going to
yeah,
the studios, I sometimes have to change my shirt. Be like, man, I'm not even, on the same thing that y'all are on, but y'all got this thing a little, you,
like
you know, get in trouble trying to go to class because you coming out of someone's studio and the professor thinks, oh man, you were blowing big perp. Where's it at? Like, nah, I'm just in the studio. So everybody's studio is different.
right, it's different. Yeah. So everybody's studio is different, and when it came to that, and what they wanted to, do the grown thing, smoke, drink, whatever, whatever, my kids were obviously isolated from that, so they would be in a whole different room. I remember in DC Studios, he had like two sections. It was like a sitting area, and that's what they would be, and then the actual sitting area for the recording artist. So um, that wouldn't interfere with them too much. So they were fine. They had their toys and things like that, and they had each other. I have three boys, by the way. So yeah. But yeah, the vibe, like I said, the vibe was beautiful.
With doing music, and you say you also kind of just like, I think you said something about maybe acting or just, role
Mhm.
playing drama. Tell me more. Have you been able to get into any acting?
Acting, not so much. Ever since high school, like ever since after high school. So, but I would love to. I'm actually looking into. You ever heard of Reverb Nation? I'm sure you have.
Mm-hmm.
I just went on their website and I wanted to go ahead and sign up and just do little gigs and just get my name out there, because it's just so hard. But as far as acting, I would love to act. I used to have monologue books and things to um, rehearse and memorize when it comes to like plays. That's for high school and stuff like that. But like I said, after high school, I didn't really do too much acting. I really focused on my singing and my lyrics and writing my songs and just trying to put it out there. I would say I was blind because I didn't really know like how to get it out there and which way to go. So I did have help with those individuals who did help me out. But I don't know. You know how when you're dealing with like a producer per se, and they try to change your style and make you into what they believe that they want you to be, and it doesn't really go along with what you want to be. So I was dealing with that, and that was one of the harder parts of being in the industry and trying to pursue my music. But nevertheless, it came out, you know, good, exceptional, worth listening to. I will say that. But
Well, what's your style? Give the people who haven't checked
I
out your style. What is it like?
I am an R&B artist I'm a soulful R&B artist who speaks her mind, and sometimes my lyrics will make you do a double take. I will say that. For example, the song the song "Stupid on Your Ass" is actually my ringtone. I did it with the group, but it's my song. It's just their beat, and so I'm dealing with that, and it's a lot of legal things going on with that. But "Stupid on Your Ass." It's a song about a black woman, myself. I'll just be blunt, going stupid on the boyfriend or baby father or just a person who she's dealing with, who she's trying to get love from a person who's just not being honest, in the relationship. So you got to go stupid on their ass, whether that means kicking in the door, whether that means um, I'm thinking of Monica when I say that, kick down your door and smack your chick. I love Monica, but whether that means setting stuff on fire, I can get a little crazy. But at the same time, it's just because I love so hard. So
Mm.
that's what that song means. So yeah, stupid on your ass. You gonna make me go stupid on your ass. I'm just
Okay. Oh, I mean, but I could see a hook like that going on the radio because nowadays you got stuff like Throat Baby, which I'm like, hold on,
oh
that ain't
yeah,
what Mama used to play. Uh,
I know, right?
yeah,
Every time it comes on the radio, I'm like, oh gosh, my little baby's in the back. Let me find something else, because music is, oh, it's
like
like a sponge with kids.
Yeah, and I don't know what the powers that be, these program directors who they would hear a song like yours 10, 20 years ago and say, nah, that can't, that's too hard. But now it might be like, wait, that's kind of tame. We can actually play that. So I
Yeah.
definitely see that. Now, we had talked before going live that you haven't had a official music video yet. Are there any plans to do a video, and would that be the first single?
That could be an idea to do a first single. But I was actually working on a song where I have an original beat that I actually own.
Mm.
Um, and it's entitled Toxic when it comes to trying to put out that video. so toxic. I wish I could play it now, but I wish I sent that to you. But it's a video that I have in mind where it's talking about the relationship again and how toxic it can be when it comes to trying to love. And it's just like your modern relationship. You wake up, you smoking, you smoking and drinking, and you expect this amount from a person, but they're only giving or willing to give this amount, and it's just like it's a give and take, but you're taking more than you're giving, and it's just it can become toxic. It really can. So I've been through a lot, and as far as doing the video, like I said, I wanted to get it out around Valentine's Day, February sometime, but it won't be about love.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, that give and take in every relationship, no matter if it's business or personal, it's always one person is giving at least at one point more than anybody else. It's never like a 50-50. It's always somebody's giving 60-40 or,
Mm,
80-20 or something crazy. And how you handle that, because some people need to give more and some people can only receive, just depending on how they came up. You got to find your crazy people, match your crazy with someone else's, and there you go. And it will never be kumbaya, but we keep pushing.
hmm
We need
That's
touch.
beautiful, and I'm learning that. So that's beautifully said.
Yeah. Now, have you been able to do get any exposure or travel outside of the country with your music?
No, I have not, but that is definitely a dream and goal of mine. But what I have done recently, which was actually the day after Thanksgiving, I'm sorry, after Christmas, I opened up for Ball Greasy at Truth Lounge at an event on in Oakland, put together by Broward Come Up. So shout out to him as well. And it was, oh my gosh, it was an amazing experience. He gave me encouraging words and told me, this game ain't what you think it is, but you keep pushing and you will make it. That's what your passion is. And he gave so much love. So shout out to Ball Greasy as well.
Awesome. And you said in Oakland, I'm being from Oakland, folks, and be like, where in Oakland, in the town where she was at? Explain that, please.
In Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Oakland Park Boulevard, closer to Los Olas area. So yeah, it's kind of on Front Street, but that's what we call it, Oakland Park Boulevard. Oh.
Now, doing shows, it's still, pandemic time. But
Mhm.
in Florida, everything is open. So are you seeing, artists, especially we'll say on the underground, still being able to do shows? I know Bootsy has bragged about it, how he's getting more money than he might be getting
Oh
less money, but
wow.
he's doing more shows. Are you seeing a lot of shows?
Personally, am I doing them or am I just seeing
Are
other
are
artists
are,
do?
are other artists, are they available? Because some folks,
Oh,
on the West Coast would say, what shows? Everything is shut down. She can't be
oh no
doing
no
shows.
no 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 no. I would say if you go on your news feed on Instagram or Facebook, you'll see like advertising, show here, show there. Trust me, they keep it coming. So they don't stop in Florida at all. So that's why I'm not trying to stop. I'm trying to keep it pushing, keep it going. So,
And how often are you able to rock shows and do them?
whew, as often, oh goodness, as often as I can find a sitter for my kids. And I told you I do have support here and there, but they do come first. So it's not as easy as it seems, but I try. I'll say like maybe twice a month. I'll try to do something, but I want to push more because you really got to, in order to get more, you got to put your name out more. And it's hard, but I can do it. I know that.
All right, see Slim, you were talking about a couple moments ago about producers trying to change your style, and everyone has a vision of the music. People take their beats and feel like sometimes your style should match their beats and the words you say. How much flexibility, how flexible are you as an artist, because if somebody says, hey, I want you to be like, what Megan Thee Stallion or what Cardi B and them are doing, and if your vibe is more Lauryn Hillish, are you willing to say, I'll do that just to get on so I can get the machine behind me and switch it up later? Like, how pure of an artist are you, is I guess my question.
Well, that's a really good question because based on my experience and what I've been through, I've actually done that. I've actually converted into someone else's style, or I have had an original song, original beat, and it had been transformed into something that was more of their style instead of my own. And it didn't sound bad, but it just wasn't me. Um, and even though I delivered and it did sound appealing to the ear, it just in my heart it was just like, okay, this ain't it. So I've done that, and I have done that. But would I do it in the future? I'm not gonna say no, only because of even when I do that, I still have to be honest. I do put my sense of style in a sense on it, just a tweak, if you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, even though it's like their style, their new beat or whatever the case may be, it's still my vocal. So therefore, you're still gonna have C Slim style on there. Um, but yes, I am very committed to my style, and the way that I deliver my music. But because music is always changing, I'm always open. You get what I'm saying? So
And that's, I mean, it's good to be able to be flexible as long as you're comfortable, that's what I
yeah,
say.
right. I agree. Yeah.
Because this industry will try to rearrange and make people, and once you go crazy being somebody else, they spit you out back to wherever they found you and say, you know, I'm I'm taking this from you. I'm taking that. Oh, you thought you own these things. Actually, you got to
Hmm.
recoup. So,
Hmm. And
it's a
that is my story.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's a crazy game. Have you gone through your diva stage already, where your stuff don't stink and can't nobody tell you nothing? Have you got past that yet? Everybody goes through this, so that's why I'm asking.
Um. Oh wow. I'm gonna say no because even though I guess I felt like I went through it in a sense, not really, because it hasn't really taken me where I want to be. So I'm gonna say no. I haven't gotten there yet, but I do have the ability. Trust me. That diva
Okay.
is in there.
Okay, and I like this. Folks will be like, well, I'm very Everybody's humble until you have more money than you planned, and you don't necessarily know
Exactly.
what to do with it. You got family members who come up and say, hey, I helped you, I made you, I got you your first, karaoke machine, and you're like,
Right.
yeah, did you steal that? But I got it though. That's all that matters is I got it. So,
Hmm.
but when that time comes, what is your community give back? And it could be one that you're doing or one that you plan on doing in the future. But what is that for you?
For me, I would love to own land, and on that land, I would give back. Even though with the whole COVID thing, it'll be a type of school because I was a teacher before. I was a preschool teacher, and I'm still certified as we speak. Um, that was my passion at one point. But I just want to give back to the kids. I love the kids. See, Slim love the kids, so that's what I would do definitely. I would give back to the community, education, real education, especially for our black young up and coming entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying? I just want to give back so more. Anything that I can do, I'm a giver, and sometimes I give too much. But yeah, for my community, I would give back to the kids definitely.
Now, being a teacher, a giver, how how do you deal with you have these people around you who they
Hmm.
wait for you to blow up, They're not necessarily helpful now. Probably don't stream your music. So if you say I have a new song and they're like, didn't you hear it? It came out last week. I text you. They're like, oh, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. How are you preparing yourself now for the blow up? Because the who you are now only elevates when you have money, and there, the support system that you have for your passion usually never starts with like the family and the friends. It's always outsiders. You'll have that person, I'm going to show up to every show you have. So how have you got your mind and your soul ready for that?
Wow. How have I got my mind and soul ready for that? I think that being on this soul journey that I'm on now, I would be ready for anything that comes my way because honestly, I pray about things. So that's me. Um, but I don't think that I would, do anybody dirty or forget anybody or anything like that. But you look out for me, I'm going to definitely look out for you. That's just my motto. And that goes back to that give and take relationship you was talking about earlier as well. Um, but yeah, I have a warm heart. So to all my supporters, I thank you. I mean, I'm the type that would want to give, with whether it be, freebies of something or, free samples of anything. I'm that type of giver. So I would look out. Is what I would say.
Okay, and I asked that question, and it's such a there's no wrong answer to that question, but people have to get their mind right. It's like when you're on an
Mhm.
airplane, you got to put your mask on first, and to
Mhm.
not be bitter, you work on that stuff now, because when you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
when you can see it and you're like, it's gonna happen. It may not happen like it happened for this person, but it's gonna happen
Right.
in my own lane where I'm gonna be, on planes and trains, rocking mics from here to Spain, and
Oh yeah.
I don't want to lose who I am because
Right.
of the access and the money. Now,
Yeah.
talking about losing who you are in social media, it's crazy right now, and I see you are on every platform possible except OnlyFans. Right? I don't see her on
Yes.
OnlyFans. And,
Yes.
and I and I say yet because every artist now is running to OnlyFans, because OnlyFans is no longer just for the naked people. They are rebranding this thing, and
Mhm.
it's for those who don't want to be put in a box. They want to just
Yeah.
say what they want to say and not be dinged by Instagram like Bootsy was and many others. So, how do you manage your social media, and do you have plans on doing an OnlyFans?
Yes, I definitely have plans on doing the OnlyFans. I'm upset with myself because I haven't done it yet. But it's just trying to keep up with my YouTube, which is I am C Slim. Posting videos of me singing and just showing my talent off. I need to do more research to see how to get paid from that. Because it's out there. Trust me. Yes, I definitely want an OnlyFans. And I want to on there do concerts, like mini concerts, and see what my supporters feel about it. Um, but yes, my platforms: Instagram, Facebook, of course. I have a TikTok, um, SoundCloud. It's just about getting my music out there. But I just want to make sure I'm doing it the right way. So
Okay,
that's
no,
my
that
thing.
no, that's awesome. If you want to leave the people with anything, I don't know, it might be. Heard you singing earlier, but if you want to leave the people with anything, you gave out the social, but just lace them with anything. I don't want to be like Sway and like, hey, got the beat, because we could drop a
Mm-hmm.
beat, y'all. We could do that, but I don't want to put you on the spot like that. But
Okay.
even with some game or of some sort, whatever you like.
He's got me broken like a feather blowing in the wind. Said you've got me broken like a feather blowing in the wind. Yeah. And so you can take it as it resonates. You got me broken like a feather blowing in the wind, and that was in 2013 when I put that out. But yeah,
Well,
I
and
just I
and
just love
that's
to
with the
sing.
car. That's the car acoustics, the car studio. So you definitely,
Right.
got it. You got it. And I don't want to give the folks a game overload. And I also want to tell Slim, two things off air, folks. You know how we do. We give the game on and off air. You cannot be
Yeah.
broke listening to this podcast. See, Slim told you
Period.
how her journey is. She talked about even owning some land. I'm going to send her a link to one of our past interviews recently where they are selling land interest free so everybody can
Wow.
buy. And they got some land here, even in Florida. I cop some myself. So I'm going to share that with, we doing
Blessing.
it, folks. Yeah. So
That's
you
right.
guys, yeah, like, share, subscribe. See, Slim, I thank you for coming on.
I thank you for having me. What a blessing. Thank you.